We're going to look at the chart for Miley Cyrus as her house just burned down a couple days ago. And if you were to look to the eastern horizon when she was born, you would see the constellation associated with Taurus rising. Taurus was rising at 4 degrees and 52 minutes, and that becomes the most effective point of every house. So any planet that's within 5 degrees, for example, like Sun, has some impact at our chart. Moon, Mars, Mercury. So many planets are very close to that most effective point. So first, let's look at and see how the planets are operating, and then we'll look and see at when they're operating and what remedies could be effective. So Sun is at 8 degrees, and she has 4 planets in the house of partnerships and relationships. And whenever there's strong influence in this seventh house of partnerships, these people often are entertainers. So she's a singer, songwriter, actress, and her son is very well placed and strong. And so she got good support from her father. Her father is a famous singer, Billy Cyrus, and probably gave her good support. And Sun is ruling this house of happiness and home life and house. So we'll see later how the sun plays into the burning, how her it could have had an effect on her house burning down. Sun is again because it's very strong, gives her great charismatic abilities. Moon is at 2 degrees. Any planet that's less than 5 or more than 25 is either in adolescence or old age and cannot protect or promote its own significations. And Sun is ruling this house of entrepreneurial success and acting and performing arts. And so Moon is located in also in this house of partnerships. And so it is debilitated, so it is weak. So less support from mother, and but it is close to the most effective point. So she is strongly makes decisions based on her feelings. Mars is at 3 degrees. Mars is located in this house of entrepreneurial success, and it's ruling this house of losses, expenses, separation, depression, addiction. So we'll see how Mars plays into the burning of her house in a minute, but gave her a lot of ambition to be successful. Mercury is at 3 degrees, also close to the most effective point. And any planet that you see a multicona sign in the 6th, 8th, or the 12th house, the planet that rules that sign becomes a functional malefic. So we see Aries, the first sign of Aries, in the 12th house, and Aries is ruled by Mars. So Mars becomes functional malefic for this chart. That means it can cause some challenges, depending. And Mercury at 3 degrees is slightly weak. That limits the number of children because it's ruling the house of children, education, and investments. And it does give her great communication skills in terms of acting and singing. I think 2013 she was in a Mercury period, and that's when she gained the Artist of the Year. And let's see, Jupiter is at 14 degrees. It's ruling the 8th house. Jupiter Sagittarius is in the 8th house. It's ruled by Jupiter. So this is the house of vulnerability, and it is located in the house of investments, children, husband, etc., like that. So children and husband. So bring some vulnerability in relationships. Um, Venus is at 18 degrees. But back to just Jupiter. Whenever you have some vulnerability in relationships and you're an actress or a singer, then you can bring those qualities out in your songs, which makes them uh, very authentic. Venus is at 18 degrees. It's ruling the sixth house. Now, the sixth house has to do with health issues, delays, disputes, fire, theft, and cheating. And so we're going to see how that plays out with the house. But it's also functional malefic and brings some conflict in relationships. She's had multiple relationships, but gives her acting abilities. I think 2006, Hannah Montana was a Disney show that she was a star in. Saturn's at 19 degrees, and it is ruling the house of career, and it's placed in the house of good fortune. So she has good fortune through her career, very successful. Rahu and Ketu give strong desire for success and partnerships. And entertainment industry is all about who you know. So that helped with her success. So now we're going to look and see. We've talked a little bit about Venus period was when Hannah Montana was a success. 2013, she was in a period, a Mercury period that brought good success for her singing. She was named Artist of the Year by MTV. And then, so let's look about a couple days ago. Her house actually burned down during the Woolsey fire, I think. And so let's see here. What we see here is we want to see any planets that are close to that 4 degrees that are having impact in the transit or the natal chart. So we see that Rahu and Ketu are at 5 degrees, so very close, and they afflict the midpoint of every house, which is 4 degrees and 52 minutes, when they're close to that rising sign degree. So Rahu is afflicting this house of entrepreneurial success. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's afflicting this house of partnerships. And Jupiter is within a degree of Rahu. So Jupiter, and Jupiter's malefic anyway, so Jupiter's creating death-like experiences, transformations, and it is also afflicting Sun, natal Sun, very close to Mercury and Moon as well. But Sun is house, so you can see how Rahu causing, unexpected cataclysmic events, afflicting Jupiter, death-like experiences, afflicting Sun, house. And we see that Sun is also transiting the house of fire, accidents, theft, cheating, conflict. And Venus is around 2 degrees, so it's also within that um, sphere. So Venus is also transiting this house of fires. So and Venus has to do with fire. So yeah, a lot of things point towards the house burning down. Now, what could she do to mitigate her karma? So you can see Sun is probably her best planet and gave her great success. But Moon, weak at 2 degrees. Mars, weak at 3 degrees. Mercury, weak at 3 degrees. Jupiter could use some strengthening, as well as Venus. Venus is ruling this the inauspicious house. So all of those need some strengthening. Not actually, we don't strengthen the malefics. So Jupiter and Venus we would not strengthen, as well as Mars. We want to transform those. So we would strengthen Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Saturn. Saturn's also good for her, but it could be strengthened even more. So by wearing a kavash or blue sapphire, blue colors, green colors, white colors, uh, sun colors, orange, gold, or wearing a kavash that contains the yantras, the Devata yantras, to strengthen those planets would be helpful. And to transform Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Rahu, and Ketu, you would listen to chants and do charity for feed the birds and help people that cannot help themselves, help spiritual organizations for K2, um, help men that are like brothers for Mars, and help, again, spiritual organizations, teachers, Jupiter, and the chants associated with those planets. So that's the chart for Miley Cyrus. Thank you for listening. If you're interested in a transformational Vedic astrology reading, you can go under services at vastucreations.com, or if you would like to learn how to do transformational Vedic astrology and get certified, you can go to AmericanInstituteofVastu.com.